Don't start shooting up the place, all right?
You're going to see a number that appears, and that's the number that the prop is assigned. For this particular script, what I do is I copy an existing one, and then I just go one line down and I paste it, and then I just replace the object that it's for with the new one, and see if it spawns. And there we go.
This is your last fight, mister.
Bandit Hideouts. Today I'm going to share with you guys how I add props to the mod and then have them spawn with hideouts. So to begin with, let's start up the Microsoft Visual Studio, and we'll start up the Bandit Hideouts SLN, and it takes a few seconds for all the scripts and stuff to load. Alright, just a quick overview. Microsoft Visual Studio. This is the menu on the top for the program itself, and then here are all the pin scripts that I use when I'm working on the mod. On the right here is an index of all the scripts in the mod, which are about 132 scripts. To add props to the code, we have 3 scripts that I work out of. So you have hideouts H, and for this we scroll down to this list. This is a props list. So in this particular list, basically I acquire a prop, and then each prop has their own kind of like a part number, and I add it to this list. Now when I first started working on this list back in 2023, Crossed only had this and up added to this list, and I added the rest since the mod released. So this is the main list that we work with, and then Camp Creator is another list. So for this particular list, we scroll down and we go down here. Now this particular list is the list that I will spawn prop from. It's the in-game menu that I choose from. So when I use my arrow keys to choose which number of prop to spawn, like for example, let's say I wanted a bourbon box to spawn by a campfire, then on the list I would queue up number 5 in the list, and then that would be the bourbon box, and then I choose that and then I spawn that. So every new prop I add, I have to add it to the end of this list. We're going to add a prop today. Now that's this list, that's just for the Camp Creator. This particular list here, which I also add to, is logging what prop is that I spawned into the log file. Again, if I did a bourbon box, then in the log file you would see bourbon box, and that tells me the coordinate of that position of that bourbon box, and then I could basically add this. It tells me what that coordinate is, and that's what that's for. So that's this list, and then the next list right here, spawnhideout.cpp. We scroll down for that, and this list here, you can kind of see some of the props. These are not in alphabetical order or any order like the other lists are. I have to add the code to this list, and this particular list is what actually spawns the prop with the hideout. Now for example, hideouts themselves, let's go to the last hideout I built, which was for version 140 of the mod, which was River End. Now if we go to the props, these are the props. This is the props list. So these are a lot of props that I logged coordinates for that particular hideout. Once you add the props to these particular codes, then what you put here is basically going to spawn for whatever hideout that you set it for. So what we're going to do today, we're going to start here, and what we need to do is start down here, and we're going to acquire a prop from the game, and we're going to add that prop in, and then I'm going to show you how I do it through the code and everything. So let's go in game and acquire a prop. The prop we're going to acquire is the prop of this folding chair. What I normally do is I bring up my Camp Creator menu by pressing page up, and as you can see where it says log models and then there's a number there, that's kind of like a base number for something. I don't use that for anything. And in order to acquire a prop, what I need to do is aim my revolver or at a prop. So let's do that right now. And basically,
Don't start shooting up the place, all right?
you're going to see a number that appears, and that's the number that the prop is assigned.
You might have three with that weapon, ain't you?
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a screenshot of it, and we'll put our gun away because we don't want these guys to attack me. So we're going to go back in the code and we're going to add that prop. What I do now is I retrieve that screenshot, and the screenshot usually will show up in the RDR2 directory. So I bring that up, I scroll down, and here is the screenshot. So we'll open that up, and as you can see what I aimed at, and it gives me this number. Basically we have to add that number to the code, and we're going to start right here. We'll just hit enter and we have to add. We have to make up a name, so I'm going to just call this fold underscore chair, and then we'll go equals, and then what we got to do now is add that number. So we have 328888 32123, and then we have 72178 72178, and that's it. So after that I just close that and I put that in a folder. I use that as my reference, and then we put a comma here and then save that, and that's good for this particular list. Copy this, and then we go into the next script, which is the camp creator. I'll just do this, just paste the code. I'll copy this, paste that right here, up this one number, and then we'll go like this, and that adds that, remove that, and then we got to go down to this list so that when we actually log a coordinate for a hideout and use this particular prop, that it gets logged into the log file so I know which prop it is. So here we'll just do this, and then V, and we got to change the wording here to fold underscore chair. This is a text, fold chair. That's it for this script. And from here we go to spawnhideout.cpp, and I'll just go by, I usually just put the new stuff towards the bottom. I'll just put it with straw barrel. For this particular script, what I do is I copy an existing one, and then I just go one line down and I paste it, and then I just replace the object that it's for with the new one, and it just updates all the lists. So this one is fold, and since it's already showing up in the system, I just double click it and it adds it. And then there's one more spot on the same code I have to add it to, which is right here. So we go fold, add that. So we'll save that. So all three scripts have the codes added to them. Alright, for this prop to be able to be used, adding to hideouts, and for the log to show that prop that I used to be logged, it needs to be built into a new ASI file. Basically what I have to do here is save everything, and then I right click and I go to rescan solution, and that checks all the scripts that I updated, and you could kind of see what it's doing here, and it tells me if there's any issues or no issues found. So once that happens and everything's good between the three scripts, then what I do is I go to build and then build Bandit Hideouts. And this takes up to 10 minutes. It depends on what you added and what you did. But this is going to take all the code that I added and put it together into an ASI file. So basically it just rebuilds the mod and creates a new ASI file with the updated code. Alright, the building of the ASI is pretty much done. Once it says generating code, build one succeeded, then it's done. So I could just close this, and what it's going to do now is it's going to produce an ASI file, a new ASI file with the updated code in another folder. And what I have to do now is go back in game, unload all my mods, remove the old ASI and replace it with the new one. I already moved to a location by a hideout that we're going to add the chairs to. You can kind of see where we're at. We're near Blackwater, and this is the new hideout that I created for version 140. What I do to swap out the ASI is I press Control R, and then I'll go press Escape, and I go Alt Tab. I go to my desktop. What I have to do here is I delete the Bandit Hideouts ASI, the DAT file, the cleared hideouts DAT, and then I take the new file and I drag it in here. And this is the updated one. I delete this, and then basically I go back in game, and then I press Control R, and I check the map, and the hideouts are back. Coming up to the hideout, and you can see a bandit already up on the ledge there. Park our horse right here.
Wait, boy.
Using the Spencer rifle today, the carbine, along with the don't want to mess with him. Let's throw some dynamite in the thing, the hideout. That'll get their attention.
Christ alive! Get in closer! Too damn close! Die real quick! What in God's name? Move up closer to him! What a beautiful day! Say your piece, dead man! You're not walking away from this!
Alright, we cleared the hideout, so let's go to the camp itself and see where we can put a chair at. Folding chair. Put one over here. So I think what I gotta do is face the opposite direction like I normally do with the chairs. And then what I do is we go to log PL card H. We'll hit that, and then for spawn prop we have to go all the way to 36, because 36 is the folding chair now. And we'll just close this and see if it spawns, and there we go. Here's the new prop. So let's add some more folding chairs. Put one over here. And then spawn it. It really adds to the ambience. We'll put one over here too. Alright. And put one by this campfire. There we go. That might be good enough. It's already kind of congested as it is. We're going to go back to the code and add those coordinates. We'll take a look at the log and add the new coordinates for this particular hideout. The props, what we need to do to add props is we're going to do prop down by the bourbon box because it has a heading. So we'll just go like this, make some space, we'll copy an existing prop, and then we'll paste one. And basically we update this to be fold chair because it's in the system now. And what we do here is, I think we acquired, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there was 4 of them that we did. So we'll just put 4 right now. And so that's set up. Now what we have to do is go to the log itself, and I go to the RDR2 directory for that. And right here, a Bandit Hideouts log has been generated. So anytime you acquire new coordinates, you basically create a log file, and that's what the code in the mod does. So we'll open that up. Opens up a text document, and here we logged. It gives the date, the time, and then what PL card you use. So we use PL card plus H. Plus H means heading. So just remove that, and we get to see exactly what we logged. So yeah, we got 4 folding chairs, and what we need here is this, the coordinate. So we go back to the code, we paste that there. And that's it. Now you can see in the log itself, as I was saying, when I acquired the coordinate and then spawned the chair right after the coordinate, then the script will post the word of what you spawned right after. So we just close this now. We don't save it. The prop has been added, and we just clean everything up here, and that's it. And then we just save this, and basically what we do now is gotta wait for this to finish, which it did, and I gotta rebuild the ASI, and that's it. So this will update the ASI, adding the new coordinates and the new props to that hideout. So what we'll do is I'll come back to this when it's pretty much finishing up, and then from there we'll swap out the ASI like we did before, and then go back in game, clear the hideout, and see the chairs there. Alright, the code is at generating code, which means it's at its end. This is the part where it's building the ASI, and the build succeeded. Alright, so now I can remove that, and what we got to do now is go in game. So I'm in game, I'm over here, and here's where the hideout was. So I press Control R to unload my mods, and that removes all the bodies and stuff. We go to our directory, we delete the log so we can re-add stuff to it if we want. Delete the ASI, the DAT, and the cleared hideouts DAT, and then we go to here and we add the new and latest ASI. Delete that, And now we'll go back in game and re-enable the mods and go from there. We're going to be back in game. Press Control R and we'll look at the map, and hideout is back. So all we have to do is re-trigger the hideout, and you'll see the icon at the bottom left when it comes up when we hit the spawn distance. There we go. We'll just get close, and there's Bandit up there again. Alright, excellent.
Stay here, boy.
Alright, we're good to go. Snake's not there again.
Move him, Crowder! Get him in the eyes! Knock your head! Shit! Get up there! I don't like fighting, but I'm good at it. Come on, Grover, let's push up! There'll be nothing left to do when we're Move in, boys! This is gonna be real easy for me! You're gonna get bushwhacked, boy!
There's a guy over there. I was wondering why.
This is your last fight, mister!
Wondering why it didn't go off. Alright, so here we are in the hideout. Let's see the chairs. We got a chair over here. Nice, spawned exactly where we put it. Now if we bring up the menu again, and we go to log models, and I aim at the chair, the 322-888-72-178 that we put in the code is exactly what's showing up, and that's good because we got the right model. Chair showed up there. Showed up there. Showed up there. Nice. So all 4 chairs showed up. Alright guys, I hope you liked that and learned something more about the mod and the code and whatnot and what it takes and so forth. And if you haven't seen this hideout yet, check it out. It's in version 140, the latest version of the mod currently. And that's it. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.